and happy Halloween. On today's episode of Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, we hear a tale of deceit and betrayal, of love lost and of death. I can't do that voice. That was. I'm horrible at impressions. That was my impression of Vincent Price. If you don't know what Vincent Price sounds like, you still don't know, because I'm horrible at impressions. Anyway, welcome to Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, number 29. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking to my friend Jenn Cole. This is the last of my New York interviews, by the way. I did 3. I did Kurt Metzger, Mike Lawrence, and Jenn Cole, and I split them up a little bit for no real reason. I have no rhyme or reason to these things. Like there's something in my head, but I don't really know what it is. It's because I don't want to do too many dark things in a row. And this episode is talking to Jenn all about her friend who committed suicide. La-di-da. I don't know why, but I'm super intrigued by the idea and the details of suicide. Every time I hear about one, I want to hear all about it. I had a therapist who told me her son did it, and instead of going like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I wish I could, I don't know, comfort you in any way." I mean, it happened a long time before, but all I wanted to know about was how he did it. I don't know what it is. People say that suicide is really cowardly, but man, I just think the exact opposite. I think it takes more guts than anything you can ever do. To willingly go into the great unknown, to make that decision for yourself, to say, I am done with this life, I'm moving on, to, in all probability, nothingness. To just end it with nowhere else. Man, the guts that must take. They say it's cowardly because you leave people behind and they're going to feel sad, but I mean, think about it just from your point of view. God, that takes a lot of guts. Anyway, so my friend Jenn, her friend had committed suicide a week before this was recorded. So I also wanted to wait for a little while their feelings sort of came down. I didn't want anybody getting overly hurt from hearing these things. So I waited a month or two, and now I want you guys to hear the story. If you don't like hearing about this stuff, by all means, turn this off. But I love it. I love it. Also, we make it as funny as possible, or I try to. So that's it. I want to say that I'm headlining the Hollywood Improv on November 11th. Please come to that. It's one of the few times you'll get a chance in Los Angeles to see me do like a longer set. So please come to that. It's Friday, November 11th at 8 o'clock. Go to theimprov.com for tickets. I have no idea what else is going on. My next storyteller show is December 8th, so that's a long way away. Maybe Virginity Stories, but I don't know. The last one was amazing. Paul Scheer was great. Bronger was great. The Walsh brothers were great. I'm leaving people out. But it was a really fun show. So that's all the announcements, everybody. I'm glad you guys are liking these podcasts. Enjoy wasting work, as always. And enjoy Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, number 29, Suicide, Jenn Cole.
Yes, this is our last goodbye, and you don't care, so I won't cry. And you'll be sorry when I'm dead, and all this guilt will be on your head. I guess you'd call it suicide, but I'm too full to swallow my pride. I can't stand losing. I can't.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Skeptic Tank. I'm here with my friend Jenn Cole. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Did I say your name wrong?
No.
Is it Collet?
It's actually Colstein.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Oh. The next question was going to be, are you Jewish? I don't know why I care, but I always ask people. I literally don't care, but I always ask people. I mean, maybe I do care. All right.
Yeah, I think that means you do
Yeah,
care.
that sounds like I totally care. All right, we're gonna talk about like grief a little bit. Because you just had. Why don't you tell me the story? Your friend.
Yeah, I just lost a friend.
Yeah.
Killed himself.
Yeah. I'm gonna take this a little lighter, but it doesn't mean I'm not what's the word? Aware or cognizant of your pain or anything like that. But it's just like I'm removed from it a little bit because I don't know the person at all.
Yeah.
So I'll make jokes here or there.
Yeah.
So you know not to get
I
offended.
welcome
You've hung
jokes.
around comics, right?
No.
Okay, good.
You guys don't make me nervous anymore.
Okay, good. They used to.
Yeah.
We met at the Comedy and Magic Club when you were a 19-year-old intern. What, I don't know. When did you
Office
start
worker.
there? Office worker.
Yeah.
You started there with a full-time job?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, you worked in the back office. You were there for like most of the show, and then you would leave.
Yeah. Night shift. Always
Yeah.
on the phones.
Trying to drum up business
Yep.
for the Christian.
Sell tickets.
Sell tickets?
Sell bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, really? You would do that? Like promotion stuff? Trying to get old people to come?
Yeah, for Leno.
That
Every
sounds sort of interesting, but sort of not. Okay, so then you moved to New York. You're
Yeah.
going to move to London, but you fucked up.
Yeah.
And you didn't get a visa.
I didn't fuck up. London fucked up.
By not having you? What happened with that?
I was detained and for not having a return ticket for my visa 2 years in advance.
Oh, yeah, because you were just going to move there.
Yeah.
Or just figure out when you wanted to leave.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 jobs. I had a comedy club out there and
Which club?
Jonglers.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
It's a good spot.
And so they turned you back. You
Yeah.
got all the way out there.
Yeah.
Did you move there for a boy?
No.
No, no boy.
For comedy.
Comedy, okay.
For the British comedy.
All right. Or maybe to meet Jimmy Carr. Have you met him yet?
Several times.
I met him again this summer. Jen's favorite comic is Jimmy Carr.
Not
Right?
favorite.
One of your favorites.
Used to be favorite, but
Oh,
one of the top.
but now you've met a lot more comics.
Yeah.
So you're aware of more comics. You know what he told me this year? I saw him in Montreal this year.
Me too.
Oh, that's right. You were there. Mm-hmm. That's right. But I was talking to the radio people, the people in charge of getting people radio and TV spots to promote. And one of them was like, "Oh, so how are you feeling now, Ari?" And I was like, "You know, tired, I guess, but fine." What do you mean? I always feel fine. And they're like, "With the cancer is all gone." I'm like,
What?
"I don't know what you're talking about." And they're like, "Didn't you have cancer?" I'm like, "No." And they said, "Jimmy Carr told me you had cancer." I'm like, "He was probably he probably knew me by the wrong name or didn't know who I am." That's probably what it was.
Sabotage.
Yeah, she goes, no, he described you in detail. It was definitely you, and he said, that's the reason your act is the way it is because you had cancer, and so you don't really give a fuck anymore. And I was like, Jimmy Carr was fucking with you. Like, hard fucking with you. I've never had cancer. The worst disease I've had is diarrhea. Like, it's just not a problem. And then he, so I asked him, I was like, hey, by the way, good job playing a prank on those people. And he told me I should really shut that off. So unprofessional. I'm
Way to
so
go.
unprofessional. That was Mike is coming in next. And he was like, yeah. And then after like 2 minutes, he goes, oh, I should stop. I wasn't trying to play a prank on them. Somebody played a prank on me. I really thought you had ball cancer. Because I thought it was ball cancer, but it could have been some sort of cancer. I thought that's why your act was that way. Because you just stopped caring. Because you're like, fuck it, I've got cancer. I'll just say what I want. And he goes, whoever told me that was the good practical. I don't know who it was, but they got me.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's not bad. You can keep spreading that if you want. I don't mind.
It's like a compliment almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a
You
story
don't
about,
need cancer to not give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I
That's
heard a
an
story about
admirable trait.
Jeff Raleigh, this skateboarder who had the first, I don't really know that much about skateboarding, but he had first dark slide, which is when you flip your skateboard over.
Yep.
Oh, you know about it? Oh, I
Yeah.
guess Hermosa. Yeah.
No. The boys I'm about to talk about were skaters.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Are you a skater chick?
He was supposed to teach me.
Do you model most of your life after Avril Lavigne? Would you say that's fair?
No.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk
Bitch
about it.
never came to Brooklyn.
So, Brooklyn wasn't tough enough for her with that armband thing she had on all the time. Okay, so, all right, so let's talk about it. What happened? So you know this guy.
All right. So I knew this guy who was engaged to my roommate. He was deported about 2 years ago, almost the same time that I was, which is how I got my room in my current apartment with this girl.
Okay.
And they were engaged, but they had problems. They fought. It was a tough relationship,
Yeah.
cheating on both sides.
Did you sleep with him?
No,
Did you sleep with him?
no,
Did you make out with him?
maybe.
Okay.
But
Did your friend know? Did your roommate know?
no.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
All right.
But a lot of tough shit. And then he got sent out of the country.
To where?
Back to his home, Guatemala. With
Guatemala?
His family. Yes. They got together in Guatemala 5 years ago.
Your roommate and this
Yeah.
guy. What was she doing there?
She went to, her dad works all over the world, and that was where they were transferred at the time, and
Okay.
that's where they met. And she went to high school out there, and
Here's
then
the only thing I
came
know
back
about
here.
Guatemala from
Yeah.
my time doing shows at the Ice House, Pasadena, and talking to the Mexicans on crowd work and stuff. That Mexicans and Salvadorans sometimes dislike each other, sometimes don't. But no matter who they are, they all look down on Guatemalans.
Yeah,
They're like the lowest of the Latino
yeah. I've heard-
countries.
yeah, it's interesting. They talk about that, and I've learned a lot of stuff about Guatemala and Guatemalans, and I would absolutely, it's become a dream of mine to go there because the culture is so,
Really?
it's actually rich, and it's beautiful, and it's poor, but, there's a way of life out there that you just can't.
I want to go to one of those countries, one of those super poor countries where you could get like a nice meal and tip really well, and the whole thing costs you like $5.
Yeah.
And they treat you like a king afterwards.
Guatemala.
That's Guatemala.
That's Guatemala.
All right, let's go.
That's why I want to go.
Okay.
Just want to look like a big shot.
I could see you finding a Guatemalan boy having a month-long fling.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Fun.
Anyway, okay. So then, all right. So they had problems. He
they're
got deported.
back and forth between Guatemala. She was going to college in New York then. He stayed with her. And then they move around a couple different spots, and he gets sent back a couple years ago. So since I've been here, they've been working to get a fiancé visa.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
So you don't have to be married? Just planning on
Well,
getting married. That's
the
fine.
fiancé visa brings him into the country without any questions because he was once deported. It'll bring him back in the country so then they can get married within 90 days. And nobody really believed that he would get it. His family is originally Mexican, and so they all have Mexican passports, which is, it's impossible
Harder.
to
Yeah.
get into America with a Mexican passport. And he got it. They spent months and months compiling 5 years of pictures and emails and all of the evidence that you need for a visa like that, and they got it.
By the way, anyone thinks about Latino people trying to get in to America is just the border crossers, just the fence jumpers.
Yeah.
We don't ever consider. I don't know if you do. I don't ever consider somebody's like, oh no, I want to relocate in America.
Yeah, he wanted to start a media company out here.
Mm-hmm. It's a better place for it. Do it in New York rather than
and
Mexico
he
City.
wanted to design his own skateboards. He worked at a skate shop out here in Brooklyn, and he taught skating. And he was...
When I first started making money and I was able to buy my own clothes, I bought skate clothes a lot because they look cool.
Yeah.
I wore wristbands.
Yeah.
And skate shirts they're just well designed. They're just fun. Yeah.
And
I
these
remember
guys
somebody
are all
calling me up,
sponsored by skate companies, so they're just throwing out
Tons of
these
free shit.
shirts. Oh, it's awesome.
Was he like a professional skateboarder?
In Guatemala, he was not so much in the New York scene, but seriously, there's the Guatemalan skate
I
scene.
can picture this Guatemalan skate scene as everybody just used those things that Michael J. Fox did in Back to the Future. Just
No.
broken off carts. Just make the best.
No,
of what they're doing.
they've got real boards. They've got
Donkey carts.
sick boards out there too.
Uh-huh.
But so
So he moved back.
So yeah, well, they get approved, but my roommate had fallen for somebody else. Yeah.
The heart.
Who was a good guy.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a
Yeah.
good friend of mine. He's one of my close friends. And, Chris was a good guy, but I'd never really met him. And he was...
Chris was a Guatemalan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris is the boy. He was...
In his time away, she had fallen for somebody else.
Yes.
That shit happens.
It does.
How's it not going to happen?
Yeah.
It could happen if you don't see like everybody for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Some guy and girls hit it off. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's
I
gone
know.
for the weekend.
Shit, there it goes. Gone.
Yeah.
But she
That's
never...
why I tell people just to cheat.
Yeah.
I was like, don't ruin the thing you have. That was really fun. Just have a little fling, work that out, and if it's really, really good after like a month or two, then you can decide.
Yeah.
But most shit just ends fast, so just see what it's like.
Yeah.
Try not to give your boyfriend herpes, that's all. Or girlfriend, or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, she still continued with compiling the visa information and getting all that stuff, kind of believing that he wasn't going to come back. And I had talked to him a couple times.
But she was doing work to get him back?
Yeah.
Believing he wasn't going to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of saving face, in a way, you know? And I don't think she thought things would turn out. I mean...
People do that. They just sort of continue.
Yeah.
Without thinking about it.
Just kind of keep going and just, keep your usual stuff going. But she had someone there and she was waiting for Chris and...
People just continue.
Yeah. Just go through with it.
Yeah.
Without actually... And none of us really... I mean, I came into the apartment with this situation already.
You live with the situation?
No.
Okay.
With this situation, not the situation.
Well, second best, I guess. Okay.
But I had never really met him, and I knew of him, and I knew who he was. But I didn't believe that it would happen either, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very tough to get those visas, and with their circumstances and with his, like, I don't know. It's just a difficult thing. So she made it easy for us to kind of believe. I think she really believed that he wasn't going to come back.
Okay.
And so he gets approved, and they get it. And as soon as they get it, he comes back.
Boom! Instantly.
Within 2 weeks of them being approved. He bought a ticket and came out to New York.
Yeah, wait. When you get a fiancé visa, do you have to get married within a certain amount of time?
90 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this was the beginning of July.
Wow. So as soon as he got it, he was like, let's plan this thing.
Yeah, he was like, let's do it. And he had a lot of time back home to think about how much he wanted to be with her and how much he missed her and how he wasn't supposed to be gone.
There's nothing else to do in Guatemala. Think about your love and eat donkey meat.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, there's very little, entertaining things to do out there. Yeah. He played guitar and hang out on the computer and just had a job out there, just kind of saving some money.
I miss your girl.
Yeah. And
she had fallen in love with somebody else.
Makes the heart grow fonder. So he really was like, all right, well, if we're going to get married and if we're going to, do this proper, I'm not going to fuck around and I'm going to work for it and I'm going to work hard for it. And he did. He spent a lot of time working and preparing for this. All while Emily was just kind of like, oh.
She was dating somebody else?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's her real name.
Emily?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's out. Whatever.
It wasn't Lauren. What did we say before?
Lauren. Whatever.
My new thing is I've just forgiven people for acting any sort of weird way, especially in relationships or in sort of heartache situations, just because it's like, yeah, it's weird. Yeah. You like another guy. There's no rule book for how you're supposed to play things.
Yeah.
And every ex always says, well, if they hadn't done it like this, it'd be okay.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, if they did it the exact opposite, you'd just be mad that they did it that way.
Yeah.
I've heard girls say, well, if you hadn't dated somebody hot after me, or I've also heard them say, if you hadn't dated somebody ugly after me, what does that say about me? It's just like you can't win. It's just,
It's just coulda, woulda, shoulda.
So when was this that he moved out here?
This was beginning of July.
Oh, okay.
And
we're August. No, what are we in now? September.
End of September. 21st.
Yeah, September 21st right now. Okay, This is the end of July?
Yeah. Beginning of July.
Beginning of July. 2.5 months ago.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because it's 3 months, 90 days. And he was supposed to, well, anyways, he comes out here and Emily never told him about the other guy. And I told her.
You were like,
I was on her. And I knew, I know about matters of the heart and how tough it can be on people and how it's better to be honest, no matter what. It's always less of a blow if you're honest.
It's hard. You want to it's hard to say it, but it's like, it's so much worse when you don't.
Yeah.
It's like saying
This is my reasoning for why it's so much worse if you don't. I will never, ever, ever, ever lie to anyone I care about.
Yeah, you will.
For anyone like this. No, maybe little white lies, but not in this.
They'll build and build.
This is some shit, Yeah. This is...
But here's what you'd have to do. You'd have to think, okay, this similar thing has happened before.
Yeah.
With negative results.
Yeah.
Maybe I should avoid negative results. Might not be the same, but avoid it and just rip off the Band-Aid.
Well, also just think about where people are in their lives and where they are mentally. You can't be prepared for how they will take something if it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Which this situation did.
Okay.
So he gets out here, and she's shocked. She kept saying, I want to talk about it first, but she didn't, but she never really was honest about it. And he wasn't going to wait. He wanted to be out here as soon as possible, and who can blame him?
Yeah.
Going from Guatemala and where there's nothing out there to fucking do to back to fucking New York,
yeah.
where everything you could ever want.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a
his
cool
friends,
city.
his home.
Being here, I really want to move again.
Yeah, you better.
I really want to move again.
You really should.
I thought it's because it's one nice week of the year.
Yeah.
It's like pleasant out for the first time ever.
That's what I said. I tell my customers.
It's the wrong time
at the
to
bar,
be visiting.
Spring and fall in New York are just the most beautiful times,
Yeah.
but it's only for a week.
I used to tell people
We
I
only
want
get those
to be
seasons
out
for
here
a week.
6 months out of the year, but it wouldn't be 6 months in a row. It'd be like a quick 3 months, but like late April to
Yeah.
ugh, it gets so hot. But I was talking to Godfrey, of all people, and he was just telling me how many spots you can get up, and he's like, if you really want to be a comedian, I don't know, it seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
Get more practice here.
Yeah.
What do you want to be? Anyway, whatever. So, all right, get back to your story. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So he is out here, and he's trying to figure out what to do about this. Emily is telling him, I can't.
You can't what? Get
Can't
married?
marry you.
And did she tell him why?
Well, she was having...
Not telling somebody is like driving to the airport with somebody without having bought tickets.
Yeah.
And then not telling the person. Like, it's
Yeah.
going to come up.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
I know, and she wanted to avoid it.
And she was
I
hoping
told
maybe
her,
he would break up with
"You
her
can't avoid this.
or not come."
You have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You have to tell him. You have to tell him you're having second thoughts. You have to tell him before he fucking gets here.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah.
Before.
Don't make him relocate.
Yeah. Don't totally screw him over once he gets here. And
What would happen visa-wise if he came here and then she was like, I don't want to go through with it? 90 days, he's got to leave?
yeah, he was supposed to leave on the 28th.
Of what? September?
September.
Okay.
He was going to go live in the islands with his brother and work out there and save money until he...
Which islands?
Virgin Islands.
Oh.
British Virgin Islands.
Okay.
And so he never made it, obviously. But
So what happened?
So they basically break up, and
Wait, how? What happened?
it was over a couple weeks. They would just fight so much, and she never really outright said, I'm not going to do it. She kind of said, if you stop drinking and if you do this, and I'll consider it, and
Chicks will invent
held it over his head.
the
And I
reasons
felt
why.
she had no intention.
We can feel, guys can feel it
we
sometimes.
knew
You're
it
like,
wouldn't work.
What? It doesn't seem right how angry they are. But we're like, girls, I guess we'll just fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's about something else.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been doing this in relation where if somebody starts bitching, I'm like, look, I don't understand why you're being like this. It's annoying. You have to stop or tell me what's wrong.
Yeah.
This is not working.
It was just going around the problem and just saying,
Yeah.
well, maybe. Stay here for the opportunity. I'll marry you as a friend if you don't.
I'll marry you as a friend?
If you do this. And if you do that.
What?
Stop drinking and get your stuff together and find an apartment. And
Yeah, at some point you'd be obligated to be like, even if we're breaking up, I guess I got to marry you.
Yeah.
Because you're here.
Yeah.
And you won't be allowed to be here.
Yeah. But.
Okay, so she
she
kept
then-
giving these rules to him.
Yeah. But it was like an impossible standard, kind of. And I knew in the back of my head that it wasn't going to happen. We knew it wasn't going to work out.
How old are these people?
She is 28. She is my age, 24.
He's 28?
Yeah.
Okay, and she's 24. Okay.
And so I mean,
She stopped
just
drinking.
knowing their history,
Yeah.
you knew it wasn't going to work.
Well, because also she was fucking someone else.
Yeah.
And in love with somebody else?
I think so.
Okay. Was she still in
She
love with
won't admit to
with
it.
Paulo? Whatever, Chris?
Yeah.
Was she still in love with him too?
She loved him for what they had and for who he was to her while she was growing up. She was, I mean, they've been together since she was 17. She's
it's
been
one of
very
those
young.
where it's like
Yeah,
deep
it's a
inside you,
young,
like-
yeah, it's a young relationship. It's a young
Yeah.
love. And it was like, it's kind of dangerous, you know? They were skaters and they would always go out and break curfews and do the bullshit and fuck around and no one cared. And
there was this girl that
always
used to
in
work at
trouble.
the Dallas Improv, Addison Improv, waitress, and she was super hot.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously hot. She used to wear short shorts, just starting her sexuality. Like didn't really understand how Yeah, and she was
bitch.
dating some guy who was kind of a loser. He was, I don't think he had a job or had some shitty, like, worked in a, you know, like a, oh, why can't I think of that word now? Where they rent DVDs, whatever place those are.
Blockbuster?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking
There
for.
you go.
Jesus. My pot is ruining my brain. But,
They
yeah.
don't exist
and she was
anymore.
like, oh,
It's
that's
okay if you
But they,
forget.
yeah, exactly. That's a good point. No one will remember them soon. It's like that, Wayne Huizenga.
People in the future are going to listen to this podcast and go,
What's
what?
Blockbuster?
What the fuck?
What does that mean in the past? But oh yeah, but she started dating him when she was 16, and she was like, no, we're just dating. And we're like, yeah, if you had to date him now, you'd be like, no, you have to get your shit. I'm better than you. But then it just sort of sticks, so you just sort of stay in it. So yeah, you like somebody when you're little, and you just
Yeah.
you've developed those feelings.
That was kind of what this was. It was, we've been together this long, and we've had plans to do this for a long time, and, you know, we were just going to follow through with it. So he's out here and living in our apartment,
Yeah.
and there's fighting, and there's just nonstop till all hours of the night, and couldn't stand to be around each other. It wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
I really believe it wasn't
They
going to
lived
work.
together with you.
Yeah.
When did you make out with him?
Months later.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
not that much of a bitch
So
anymore. But he was good friends with my boyfriend before he had moved away. He was good friends with the whole skate crew.
before who had moved away?
Before Chris moved away. Before he got deported out of New York.
The first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had roots here. He really had friends and family out here that
Mm-hmm.
loved him and cared about him. And my boyfriend was one of those guys.
Okay.
And so they hadn't seen each other in all this time, and he was so excited that he was back. So I brought Chris over to my boyfriend's house, and they got to reconnect, and it was just, he was so happy. It was so great. I was so happy that I could bring them back together like that, you know?
Was it beautiful? Was it a beautiful moment?
It was. It really was.
Was it like that guy who met that lion after not seeing him for 30 years? Or tiger?
what
You ever see
lion?
that video? The
What?
guy who trained a lion or a tiger when he was little, and then they released him into the wild,
No.
and they
I
met
don't know.
again like 20 years later.
Maybe.
The lion remembered him. It was on Oprah.
It was, I don't watch Oprah.
It was beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it was a beautiful moment. Let's call it the lion moment.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But he started finding his friends again and started getting back into his routine and figuring out how he could stay out here and save money.
Yeah.
And at one time he was working 3 jobs, a couple restaurant jobs. He was
Jesus, Latino
he was
people
dealing.
are so...
I know.
He was dealing?
He was dealing too.
What was he
He
dealing?
had some good shit. I got called out on the subway because he got me some sour, and I was in Bed-Stuy
Yeah.
on the subway and like in a little baggie, and it was broken. And the guy is like looking around and
You can smell. Yeah.
smelling it, and he looks at me and he goes, "You stink like that?" And I'm like all dressed up and nice and cute, and I'm like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "You got that sour?"
He knew what it was from
He
smell?
knew what it was.
Wow.
Knew immediately
From smell.
from smell in the subway
Wow.
from 5 feet away.
And that's not a sterile environment. The subway
No.
has lots of other smells that
Lots.
are going to be mixing with
Lots
that
of
at all times.
Warm.
Yeah, hotness.
Hot,
There's this
ugly.
hot air that comes at you sometimes.
Ugh. Yeah.
Like piss mixed with air and
Yeah. Trash.
neglect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And drunkenness.
Do you get worried on the subway late at night when when not that many people are on there?
No.
When I leave a subway, not during the day when it's like packed, that's fine. But whenever I leave, like 11 p.m., when it's maybe only 2 or 3 people get off, and if I'm with like girls in front of me, I always feel like they think I'm gonna rape them, and I always immediately consider how I could do it if I needed to, like where I would go
If you needed to?
if I was a rapist.
If you needed to rape someone.
If I was a rapist and I had the need, if I had the, and then I also always think that I'm gonna get mugged at the same time. It always, but I'm only for a chick. Do you get worried at all?
No.
Oh, I watch too many movies.
I,
About the subway system,
I've toughened up out here.
Yeah.
I know my,
Have you ever been accosted by a guy?
sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Like semi-raped?
Mm-mm.
Or just like, hey, baby?
Just kind of like pushes himself on you and, you know,
Yeah.
the fuck, man, get the fuck off me.
That's what he says to you to get you
No,
in
that's
the
what I
mood.
said.
I know.
That's what I said.
I know.
Yeah, that's what he said. I attacked him. That's where the story was going.
Okay,
I
so
just can't be stopped.
so he's here. So you met your boyfriend. He's has all these friends.
Yeah. And I came into this group much later. Everyone had known everyone before I was even here.
Yeah.
Before he got deported. Before I showed up. And so they've all got stories going years and years back. And I'm just the new girl. Not the new girl anymore. But I'm the girl bringing him back to his group, you know. And so he eventually gets kicked out of our apartment because the tension is just too much. And I spent a lot of time with him there, talking every night, talking him through the stuff and
Talking to Chris about what stuff?
yeah, just about everything, the situation and
with
staying in New York, not staying in New York, having a plan.
How do you talk to him? Okay, Emily's gone. Let's just say for the night or the day or whatever.
Yeah.
She's gone. She's went to get coffee, and
Yeah.
you're talking to
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah,
and you know she's been cheating on him,
yeah,
or I wouldn't even call it cheating. It's just being torn.
yeah. Well, he knew.
He did know.
He ended up going through Facebook and found out the truth.
Facebook detectives.
Yeah.
It's breeding a whole new.
Fucking
whole new-
Facebook. Yep.
Did he have her like password or anything? Or
I think
he-
so. Or it was, I mean,
You can do the math. You can be like, wait, who's
Yeah.
that comment? And figure out who they are, and then see their page. And
yeah.
Wait, you
I
went
mean,
to the beach
he
that
saw
day? So did
he
she.
saw like the hints like that, but then he straight up went in her messages and checked it out and saw how long it had really been going on.
Yeah.
And he was fucking crushed.
Yeah.
You know, to discover that.
When I dated that chick Natasha, I used to look at her MySpace and her emails,
Oh,
and then I find out she was dating somebody else through that. It's just so crushing. You have to keep reading more.
Yeah.
It's so
You're
unhealthy.
so curious and you're like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop
Don't read
it. But I
anymore.
want to know
Don't read
more.
anymore.
I
Yeah.
want to know more.
You're like, what's more to know? What's
and then
more
you
to
know, and you're just like, fuck.
Now
I
I
wish
wanna
I
know details.
I
Yeah.
can't unknow that.
That's why I tell
Fuck.
people, just cheat on whoever you're with, here or there. Don't go crazy. Once a year, twice a year, whatever it is. And then just don't ever tell them. Just be really secretive about it. Just don't let them know. No one needs to know that.
Or if you do, come clean immediately. And well, no,
Hard-working.
I am part of the come clean immediately
Really?
school. Yes, and I won't be mad. I'll understand.
No, you won't.
Yeah, I will.
If somebody tells you.
Because they can't fault me for it either. Because
Yes,
I
they
would do
can.
the same thing. Honest to God. I totally believe that. But he found out the truth, and it became not so much a marriage as just a marriage for staying in the country.
Wait, they were married?
No.
No.
It became the
that's
possibility
what it
of
was
it
gonna be.
became it would be married for friends,
Okay.
marry as friends, and he would have separate places. And I told her, you know, you can't do that. The government really looks out for it.
Yeah.
They had talked to someone on the street who was asking about skateboarding, but he looked like a government official. He's like white, shaved head, you know, in a suit, and he's asking questions about skateboarding. It's like
To who? To her?
to them, yeah. He ran into him on the street.
Oh, because that's what he does for a
Government's
living.
fucking watching. They're looking. I warned her, and I said it can't. If you do it as a friend, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
And the
Well,
the
they do know a
repercussions
lot
of
about
it
each
is like
other, I guess.
$20,000 fine and jail time, and he gets deported immediately. And it's like serious consequences if you know, if you really try and pull the sheet over their head about a marriage.
I was going to marry my friend David Taylor when gay marriage was first legalized, the very first time.
Yeah.
For like a few weeks in San Francisco, like 5 or 6 years ago.
I would have liked to have been that way.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, it'll be hilarious, first of all. He's like, no, my mom's going to find out. I'm like, okay, sure, that's a negative, but here's a positive. You get health care now.
Ah.
And he was like, oh, I didn't think about that. But he didn't do it. He was so worried about what his mom would think. Okay, so they're thinking of continuing this. How was when he found out, how was that? Like, how was that time?
It was crushing because he came here under the idea of,
Oh, I have this girl I love.
I have this girl and we're going to make it work and I'm going to be in New York and it's just going to work. We're
Yeah.
going to make it work. It has to work. And that was it.
Sure.
And he was crushed and he wanted it so bad. Whether he wanted to be in New York or he wanted to be with her, this was where he needed to be. And this was everything that he'd been thinking about and planning for. And, you know, it's kind of like my London thing all
Yeah.
over again. he just took it a lot harder.
Do you have a boy in London? Yeah, you said you didn't.
It wasn't for the boy, but I had a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were already like, let's try to make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was not the
Does
primary...
anybody move for other reasons besides a possible hookup? I don't think they do.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, or to run away.
I'm
from
sure.
Who you don't want to be with
Yeah.
anymore.
I'm sure. I came to New York not for a boy. There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
There's all your evidence.
Half the people I know in LA moved to LA to start comedy just to either run away from a girl or to be with a girl.
Oh, fuck LA.
Fuck LA.
In general. I don't care about LA.
You hate it now?
I have hated it all my life.
Oh.
Why else would I leave the best job in the world
Oh, yeah.
in the worst city in the world?
Hermosa Beach, Los
LA.
Angeles. Okay, so they broke up. It was hard.
Yeah. And so he would stay up all night and talk to me and just trying to figure it out and just talking it out and drinking. And
What do you mean trying to figure it out? Like, wow, what should I do? Can I get her back?
Yeah. He wanted to fight for her.
Yeah.
She didn't want him to fight. She just wanted to... We're friends now. I've moved on.
That's the risk
That
of
kind of
fighting
thing.
for a girl.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll look really foolish if I
Yeah.
keep after this.
Yeah.
And it's still... Like,
But
I
it is
told
the
you
ultimate
no.
scenario where you would want to fight for someone
Yeah.
because it's not like just a boyfriend-girlfriend breakup. It's like your future country.
Gotta leave the country.
Yeah. It's... Everything was just upped,
From her standpoint, though, that's got to be freeing. Where it's like, if we break up,
Yeah.
you have to leave the country. Forever.
Yeah, it was tough on her too. It was so tough on her too. I'm not going to say
'Cause she must
that
feel bad.
she felt horrible. She
Yeah.
did feel horrible, and she just ending that kind of relationship is tough on anyone. And she did love him very much, but it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So he ended up moving in with my boyfriend after they got back together. He lived in a 1-bedroom out in Crown Heights, and
Where the Jews are from, and the blacks.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, most of the Jews are in Williamsburg in my neighborhood. But those are the Hasidic Jews. They're the
In Williamsburg and
Yeah.
Crown Heights.
Williamsburg. And some in Crown Heights.
I remember there's some riots in Crown
They're
Heights
the scary...
before you were born, probably.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It was because they had this Jewish ambulance service,
Yeah.
and some people...
They just
got
had like
hit.
a 20-year celebration of peace
Oh, really?
about it. Yeah.
Some kids got hit, black kids and white kids got hit by a car or something like that, and then
Yeah.
the patrol driver, and then the ambulance came and just picked up the Jewish kids.
Yeah.
But it was a Jewish ambulance, only supposed to be for Jews, but it's like, pick up everybody. Just take
Yeah.
them to the hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have room or something, and yeah, that started riots.
I don't know.
But what the black people never understood in that whole thing was that black people are worth less than Jews. And so that, if you keep that in mind, then obviously the choice is save the Jewish kid. Anyway, so that's just mathematically proven.
All right.
I
I'm
love
not gonna
I love when
argue.
super racists do that. That's just science. Like, what science? You just made some shit up. Okay, so they're living with your boyfriend.
Yeah. And he's hustling, working hard. He was at my bar all the time, come
Yeah.
visit me and hang out, and we got to be really close. He got to rely on me, and him and Emily's lives became separate. They didn't talk very often.
But he
If
was
they
going to have
did,
to
it
go.
was
Or were they
fighting.
still planning on going through?
Well, they were still she was trying to let him do his own thing and prove that he could, be here on his own 2 feet and holding a job and
So
not
she tried to
fucking
make
up.
these rules like I'm doing it for your own
Yeah,
good.
It's
It's like he's a
kind
grown
of thing.
adult. He can do it. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You're not in charge of making sure he's
And
okay
he was doing all right. And
Yeah.
we were with him. I mean, it was in a 1-bedroom that these 2 guys shared, and I would stay there occasionally. So 3 of us in just one bed, all, talking and drinking and playing guitar and smoking and just hanging out and having a good time. And he loved us. We were his last family. We were literally his last family. And he told us that all the time.
Yeah.
We tried to convince him that
She
the
was
breakup
bad for
was a
him.
bruise. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was bad for him. It wasn't going to work.
That's all
he
it
was
ever
bad
is.
for her. And
Yeah.
despite what they had in the past, it was a bruise, and now you move on.
Whenever my friends have heartbreak, like everyone tries to give them advice and stuff, but I've been through it enough where I'm like, you're just not going to feel any better
Yeah.
until some time goes by, and then
Yeah.
you just will.
Yeah. And not enough
So,
time went by. And we
yeah.
tried to talk to him, and we tried to just get him through it.
And then when was this? When he was living with you and your boyfriend?
Yeah, he was
When was this?
This was the month of August, mostly.
Okay.
And...
Last month.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I had just gotten back from Montreal, and it was about a week after that.
Montreal was fun, right?
Montreal was a fucking blast.
If any comics are listening, try your best to get into Montreal. It's so much fun.
If there's any comedy fans listening, get your ass to Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, there's great shows, too, I guess.
Yeah.
Not even about that, but yeah.
Amazing. But he loved comedy. He was fucking funny. If there's anyone I've ever met who is naturally talented as...
Chris?
Yeah.
Did he ever do it?
That's what kills me about this. I spent so much time, convincing him that he should try it.
Yeah.
He could just talk to you and have you
laughing.
rolling in 2
Really?
minutes. Everywhere we went, anyone he
Okay.
talked to, it was just one of those guys. He was just funny. And I told him, you need to get your ass on stage. You really do. I've seen incredible people. I've
Yeah.
seen the worst. You could get up there, and I have.
Once you've
believe
seen
me.
enough shitty comics, you're like, oh, yeah, literally anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Those guys have done it.
Yeah, if they're trying it,
Yeah.
you should definitely give it a go. But I finally got him up on an open mic. He finally got the balls to do it. I was on him about writing and getting some stuff together, and I was 100% behind him.
Yeah.
I knew he could do it. And last Monday,
Last Monday?
he did it.
He went on stage. Where?
Just some little bar.
Okay.
I was doing open mic, and they had a couple other guys just doing some jokes. 5 minutes.
That's the thing, too, about New York. There's like 40 clubs, but there's like a million bar rooms and whatever.
Just tons. And I have the information somewhere.
So he did it?
My phone. But
And
he
how
did
was
it. He killed it.
Really?
He was fucking
He
awesome.
prepared really hard?
Well, he was drunk.
Okay.
Because he was so nervous.
Yeah,
he was
that's what
so
I was
scared.
my first time.
Yeah. But
You do, like,
still
3
being
shots
able to
and
get up
2
there
beers.
drunk and do it and do well
Yeah.
and be one of the best ones of the night, I was fucking proud of him. I was so stoked. I didn't even care that he was drunk. I was just proud that he did it and that he saw
Was
that
his
he could do
drinking
it.
really a problem, or was that just something elementally
It was
floating
a
over his
problem.
head?
It was
Okay.
a problem. I'm not going to lie. He drank a lot. He drank, I mean,
Well, maybe you should
Yeah.
be a comedian then.
yeah.
Sounds about right.
He was a comic. He was a natural born comedian. He was fucking funny. He had problems and he loved to rag on himself.
Yeah, that's good.
But he could make people laugh.
Yeah.
And he had shit that he had shit to say. He had a lot of stuff figured out.
Okay.
So he gets up last Monday and he does it, and some of his friends are there. I had to work. I was so
Oh,
mad
you
that I
couldn't
had
go?
to work. I couldn't go.
So how do you know he killed it?
Because he told me, his friends told me, some of
Okay.
his friends were there. There is, and I know the bits he did. He told me the bits,
Okay.
and I
it went well.
worked on the bits with him.
Yeah, nice. You were his writer. Nice.
I did help.
Sure.
I hate to credit myself, but I did have a very integral part in getting.
There's something fun
Getting up.
when you just participate with somebody a little bit.
He was my fucking prodigy.
Yeah.
He was my comedy
a joke in
prodigy.
there, like, I made that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of him, Ari. I was so fucking proud of him.
Yeah.
And right after, he came to my bar to tell me all about it and how proud he was. And
You had already made out at this point?
no,
You hadn't? Yeah.
No.
Still not? Okay.
no.
Because I was going to ask you when you said you guys all slept together. But nothing
No.
nothing crazy like that ever happened. Okay.
It wasn't really making out. It was just friendly kissing. I mean, I was with my boy and,
Yeah.
it was just nice.
Just made out.
Yeah, just make him feel loved.
Did you tell your boyfriend afterwards?
He was there.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. It was all in love. It was
Okay.
all literally just in love.
Yeah.
And
I used to do that with my friends in college. We were just like, let's just kiss for a while.
Yeah.
Just relax.
yeah. And we were all so close. We all, within a month, I mean, we were, it's an intimate friendship, that you always,
What is that?
there's some alarm going off somewhere. Tamagotchi.
Fucking Baldinger.
I know.
He sets here's what I do, where he sets his alarm away from his bed so he can't just hit it off. He has to get up, wake him up. But he hits snooze like 40 times.
Yeah.
And it's so loud.
Yeah.
And he's got it almost set to the news station, so it's just this like cackly, like, it's just horrible.
That's what I do. I set mine to static. Loud static. It's the only thing that'll wake me up. Otherwise, I feel like people are talking to me in my dreams.
Really?
Singing to me. Yep. People are like, oh, yeah, that happened to me last night. It happens to me every night.
Okay.
Every morning. Because I smoke myself silly to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm in that haze in the morning where I'm just like...
Still high. Oh. You wake up in the middle of the night super wide awake?
Once in a while.
I think it's from pot. But it's not if it's once in a while. A lot of heavy pot, I do it all the time.
Oh, my
God.
God.
What the heck? What is that? Where's that coming from?
I have no idea.
I bet it's coming from his room.
Probably.
I'm going to hit pause for a second and try to find it. I wonder if I know how to pause. Okay, there we go. Now the first successful pause and unpause. Okay.
All right.
Where were we, young lady? Okay, so he was living with you. He did his open mic.
Yeah.
When was this? A week ago?
This was a week and 2 days ago.
Today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday the 21st. And this was on Monday?
Yeah, the 12th.
Monday the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So going through his last couple of days, I was staying over there almost
Where?
3 nights a week.
At the boys' house?
At the boys' house. 3 nights a week, maybe 4, depending. I stayed there on Monday night.
Yeah.
And we drank and hung out, usual.
Yeah.
We went over there after I got off work. He often hung out with me until I was off work.
At work?
Yeah.
At the bar?
At the bar.
Oh, that's super convenient for an alcoholic.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheaper drinks, probably.
Free.
/ free.
Yeah. One of my best friends, of course.
Yeah.
You want a tab? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's great.
And he would entertain my customers so much.
Really?
Anything he said, he could get anyone talking, and everyone loved him. He was such a great person. He was so funny, and people would, like, at the service, they were saying, if you knew him for 5 minutes, you knew him. You knew who he was. You knew his spirit. You knew what he was about. He was a really simple guy, and he had things like, he would always say, everyone's right. As long as everyone's doing right by themselves, they're doing right. They're doing okay.
I like that.
And yeah, as long as you're doing your thing and you're on your own shit and you're handling what you need to handle, you're right. And no one can tell you what to believe, what to say, what to think, what to do, where to go.
Yeah.
You're just right. He was deep like that. He would say this like as he's finishing his, 40.
Yeah. 40?
Yeah.
He drank that much?
He drank a lot.
God.
Yeah. This one night, these guys he had one of his friends over, one of his Guatemalan friends. They put away 50 beers in about 3 hours.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
He could drink with whiskey. Like, love Jack Daniels. He finished off a bottle of Canadian Club. He, good
Gosh.
couple. Yeah. Yeah. He could put it away. He definitely could. And I do understand where she came from when she said the drinking needs to stop, or at least minimize.
Yeah.
And it did for a while, but it wasn't enough.
Can't
and
do
it was
else.
that.
Got to figure out why.
Yeah.
If you shouldn't drink for yourself. You can't do it just because Emily's going to be upset.
Yeah.
It's got to be like, oh, Emily's right. I'm ruining my life.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. And he didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
And, he was still working hard, and he'd get trashed till 3, 4, 5 in the morning and go to work at 6.
Wow.
I would literally have to
Functioning
kick
alcoholic.
him out of the bed, physically kick him because he was so passed out or dump water on him. It was impossible to wake him up. But he would, as soon as he felt like pressure or a hit or water, he'd wake up and he'd say, oh, fuck you. Thank you, Jen.
And then he'd get up and go.
Because he knew he had to get up and he knew he was on his shit. He was still handling his stuff. And I was proud of him for that. And he would go to work and he would bust his ass and he'd make money and sell his shit. And he was doing it.
Yeah.
For a while he was doing it and he had money and it wasn't as bad as he thought it was.
What did he think was bad?
That he had to leave the country.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to get married. And
He did have to leave the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going to get married. But that wasn't that bad.
It eventually came out that it wasn't going to happen about 3-4 weeks ago.
Was he still trying to get her back, Emily?
Yeah. He was still, yeah. But after a while, it became apparent to him, and he was just crushed.
She moved on.
Yeah. He was crushed about it. And she was crushed to do it to him, but
Yeah.
she wasn't as affected by it because she'd moved on.
She has a heart full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you feel bad for doing that to someone you still sort of care about.
Yeah.
Seeing them in pain
And she did
because
care
of you.
about him. She did love him, but it wasn't going to work. I could say it a million times.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to work. He didn't. He really thought it would.
Louis C.K. used to do a bit about...
I love Louis.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. But he did, 2 years ago in Montreal, he did this. When he was said, he got divorced, and everyone like, oh. And he goes, first of all, don't, my happiness. Yeah. And second of all, he goes, there's no divorce that's ever ended a good marriage. Like, no good marriage ever ends, like, suddenly, like, everything's great. What, divorce? Yeah. It's like, it's really shitty, at least from one person's side.
Yeah.
It's bad to end things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, it was kind of...
over from her side of things.
Yeah, yeah. And he just spent all this time, thinking about her, missing her, and preparing, and he wasn't ready for it to end that quickly. You
can't accept it. It's
still
hard
had
to
a heart full too.
Yeah.
Just for the wrong side. And so his last couple of days were good.
Yeah.
He seemed happier. He was doing his normal stuff.
What do you mean happier? Because he was accepting?
He seemed better. He was like, my boy got him on some kung fu stuff.
What do you?
Got him studying like the I Ching and the Tao and all that stuff, and he was really just soaking it up like a sponge. Like that whole day before, he kept everything. We watched so many kung fu movies and just got so high and just fucking awesome. And he would just, there's one of them, Buddha's Fist, that was his favorite. And in that movie, they keep saying Buddha bless you, Buddha bless, and they go like this a lot. And so he was doing that all day. He was just everything you said. Buddha bless, Buddha bless, Buddha bless you. And he was really into it. And even with his, I think it was part of his suicide note, he wrote down some of the characters. I haven't studied it, so I don't know exactly what it is. But there are symbols where you can do like dashes, and there's breaks in the lines where, depending where the breaks are placed, it becomes a different symbol or it becomes a different
meaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he wrote it down, and Jason my boyfriend, was able to find the passage that he was, kind of copying.
Yeah. And figure out what he was saying.
Figure out what he was thinking and trying to say about, and it was about like once you've been able to accept certain things, there can be no anger in the future. There can only be peace, and there can be insight, and it was a really beautiful passage. I wish I could remember it better, but he was really getting into it, and he was really studying it and doing well. And we really thought he was on the up.
He had fun doing comedy that one time?
He had a blast.
Yeah.
And one of his friends that was there told me they hadn't seen him that happy ever. Like
Really?
he could be a happy guy, and he could be really, really fun and just over the top, like full of life all the time. But said he'd never seen him that happy.
It's a cool drug, stand up.
It is. It's a great, and I thought that's
drugs.
what he needed. I really thought that would be something that he could use, and I told him, use that pain, use the hurt,
Yeah.
That's how these guys do it. That's how you start. That's how I've seen so many people do it like that. And you have the perfect platform to just go. You've got it. You've got the natural talent. You've got the style. You don't give a fuck. You'll say anything. It's fucking funny. He would talk about, one of his bits was, one of his friends told me about this recently, but he would talk about farting. And I hate fart jokes. I think it's easy and it's terrible.
I don't mind them. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody
right.
to each his own.
Yeah.
But Chris had one of the best
You're a girl.
fart
Guys
jokes
are more
I've ever
funny.
heard. Well, he had one of the best ones I've ever heard. He would say, like, I'm going to fart, but I'm not just going to fart. I'm going to fart like the most beautiful woman you have ever wanted to fuck, because she farts just like me. So while I fart, I want you to think about the most beautiful. And he would just, He was funny. He had that, I don't care, I'm going to say it. You know, it was the truth. It was God honest truth.
Yeah.
You know? And so I don't know. Where was I?
You tell me he's happy.
Yeah, right. So he was happy to be doing comedy. And I told him, you're going to do it for a long time. I'm going to keep on you. Yeah. You're going to keep doing this. And when you're in the islands, you're going to write. And I'm going to have you send me material. Yeah. And I want to talk about it. And I want to help. And we could be writing partners.
Date?
Huh?
Did he have a deportation date?
Yeah, the 20th. September 28th.
September 28th?
Yeah.
And they told him already, you got to be gone then? Or he knew?
Well, that was the day his visa expired. And if you get caught in the country with your visa expired, it's serious consequences.
And you're never
like
coming back.
It's jail time, and you're breaking the visa, and you didn't get married. So that's where the serious consequences happen. So he had to be out by the 28th, but he didn't want to go. He wanted to stay here, and it broke his heart to leave. And that was another thing that was crushing him, was that he had to leave. He wasn't ready to leave after he'd been planning for being here for so long.
God,
and
it's so hard to leave your apartment, let alone going cross town or cross country.
Mm-hmm. And it would have been his second cross country move in less than 3 months.
Yeah.
It's a lot to handle. It's a lot to...
God, especially you have this future set up for you. In your mind. You're like, okay, we're getting married in New York with this girl.
And then it's just rerouted.
And you're not living with this girl. And you're not even living in New York.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah. So he was kind of disoriented about that too. But... So Monday night he did that. Slept together, hung out, usual...
Yeah.
Saw him on Tuesday. He came to my comedy show. He came to Right to Skill. Mm-hmm. And he was there a lot. I got him on the guest list all the time.
Yeah.
And he loved it. He loved seeing it. And he saw some really great guys there. I wish he had seen you. I told him you were going to be there.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to see this guy.
You didn't make it.
Nope.
A week too long.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah.
He killed himself. He hung himself.
Hung himself
in my boyfriend's apartment. And
what did he use?
He used, this is funny, this is classic Chris.
Yeah.
He used a belt, but not just any belt. He went through a couple, and he had his cheap made in China belt, and he went for my boyfriend's best belt. Thick leather. Would get the job done kind of thing.
Because he couldn't use his own?
Because he would think, like, oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to fucking strangle me for a long time.
Yeah.
So he got the big belt. He got the one with the huge buckle and wrapped it. He did it right. He wrapped it a couple times, and
What do you mean wrapped it a couple times?
Wrapped it around his neck.
A couple times?
Uh-huh. And then had it...
The buckle part?
Yeah. And had the buckle on... They have water... sprinklers.
Okay.
The sprinkler that comes through the apartment. And
he put
there's just one pipe that goes across. And he knew it would hold him because they used to do pull-ups there.
How could he put the buckle on the pipe? He wrapped it around once?
Yeah, he wrapped it around his neck, and he was on a stool, so he flipped it over and then kicked the stool and hung himself right in front of
How far away
the
was the belts aren't that long. Was he right up against the
He was pretty close.
And he just hung.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's a one-bedroom, so it's small. And
were you guys home?
Jason, no. He did it while we were out. We left him that day. Tuesday night, he was really fucked up. He bought a lot of coke.
Yeah.
And did almost a gram.
Was that a normal thing?
No. And he was so against coke.
Uh-huh.
He was so against it. And I will never do it again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever because of this. He always said, never do it.
Like seeing people on coke.
Yeah. He always said never do it in the summer. Never.
Why?
He was so against it because it was only a winter drug and it was meant to just warm you up and...
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was his belief.
Never heard that.
Yeah. He was adamant against doing it in the summer. So that's how we know it wasn't...
It's a winter drug. It's like a squash.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a squash of horrible addictive drugs.
Yeah. So he did a bunch of it. He made jokes about it like... I wonder if I could do the whole 2 grams and see if my heart would explode.
How often do you make jokes about that?
He just talked about it that once. He's like, I would buy it and just see. Because he was starting to feel hopeless.
Yeah.
And he would mask all of this with, oh, come on, I'm just fucking joking, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you better be joking, you piece of shit. If you ever...
I used to make jokes about it all the time.
Yeah.
My friends got bothered by it. And then I was like, just jokes. Until I realized like it wasn't jokes. I was honestly all the time thinking about just killing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I would have. I mean, I have no actual experience in suicide prevention or knowing the signs of just how deep they can be. Or, I mean, we knew he was upset, kind of depressed. We didn't think it was anywhere near this.
Yeah.
And he was so happy and go lucky most of the time, and just so full of life and energy and talent. And you'd never think, I mean, people were shocked to hear it because they're like, what? Him? But he was just telling me jokes. He was just fucking around. He was just here. He was just so talking about how he couldn't wait to do this, and he had this plan, and
he never really
life.
talked about suicide before or anything like that. No signs of depression.
Never talked about it.
Or mania.
No, it never got to that dark of a place where I thought, oh, okay, maybe now I should listen.
Yeah.
You know, he covered everything with jokes, and I don't even think he meant it. We really think it was a mistake. That it was just, he had done so much. He stayed up all night that night, and we talked to him. He went for a walk at him and my boyfriend went out to the stoop to talk after I'd fallen asleep that night at 5 a.m, and I woke up and I was really pissed. I'm like, where the fuck are you guys? Trying to make me worry about you. Yeah, Tuesday night after my show, I'd come over, and he was like, he already had done some and was on it, and just, you know, freaking out and twitching and
is that a thing
talking.
I've never heard of that.
What?
Is that a possible problem with coke? Do people ever do this? Is this?
Well, it's that he had done so much. It was really shitty coke.
Is a gram a lot? I'm not a coke guy.
A gram is a lot.
How much is normal? Percentage of a gram? I know grams from pot.
I don't even do it that much, so
how much is a line? How much is a line?
A line is...
How many lines in a gram?
Maybe 15.
15?
10 or 15.
So he did 10 or 15
No,
lines?
maybe more.
More?
More, yeah. He bought 2 grams, which is substantial.
Wow.
That's
If you go on a bender, what do you use in a gram?
Yeah, you would... If you went on a bender for 3 days... I don't know. I don't fucking know. If he had enough to do a bender for 3 days.
Wow. And he did it all.
And he did it all within a day.
Where were you?
Most of it in a couple hours. And I was with him. I saw him, and I saw how he just kept going and more and more and more. And I'm like, you got to stop this shit. I've done it too. I'm not going to condone it, but you need to take it easy. You're freaking me out. You're making me worry.
Yeah. You
know how much I care about you. I don't want to see you like this. This is really upsetting. And he felt bad, and he apologized, and he was like, it's just tonight. I just got to get rid of it. I'm like, you don't need to get rid of it tonight. You don't need to do it all tonight. Not right now.
Cokeheads aren't great at putting away for the future.
Yeah. And he wasn't even a cokehead. It was just, it was just that state he was in, you know?
Yeah.
And so they went out and they talked on the stoop and kind of got through it. I came out, we talked, we hugged, said we love you, you know? And we were starting to worry about him because he was really getting down, but we just figured it was just all the coke and him being in his head so much that we just wanted to reinforce how much we loved him and how much we were worried about him and care about him and don't want to see him like that. And so he came back. We hung out for a little bit and just laid there and talked, and he did some more. 7 a.m. Yeah. And I told him, you know, please stop. Please take it easy. You're really worrying me.
Wednesday
I don't want
morning?
to. Yeah, this was Wednesday morning. And he went for another walk. And he didn't come back till noon. And he didn't take his phone. And we were trying to call him. We got nervous. We're hope you're not doing anything crazy. Please come back. Leaving him voicemails that he wouldn't hear. And he shows up around noon. And we're like, oh, God, where the fuck were you? We were so worried. You know, we don't want you to get hit by a car or, you know, you didn't take your skateboard. You didn't do anything. What were you going to do, you know? We kind of felt maybe he could do it right now. And then he comes back and he was like, come on, guys, you know me better than that. I love you guys. I wouldn't do that to you. Wednesday morning, he told us that.
Okay.
So we Jason had to go to work, and I had to go to class and get on with my day, so we leave about 11:30, noon, and we left him alone. And he made a couple calls. He apparently called Emily and told her that he went to the beach. I don't believe him.
That he made that call?
I don't
That
think
he went to the beach?
I don't think he went to the beach.
Okay.
I think he called her around 2 or something, and said he was at the beach, but I don't think. He could be.
Yeah.
Who knows? He spent the rest of the day finishing off the Coke.
The rest of the Coke.
And the whiskey. And some more beers. And
then when you got home, did you see him?
No. He called Jason, or he sent him a text and said, "Do you have keys to get in?" He was like, "Yeah, I do. I'll see you later."
Wait, who said what?
Chris said, "Do you have keys to get in?"
Ask Jason if he had keys to get in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They take care of shit. That's a common thing.
I know. It's such a creepy.
Richard Jenny canceled all his road dates.
I know.
Like it's... Okay, so go ahead.
So, he made a couple calls. I'm not sure. He called one of his best friends, and yeah, around 8:30, they think.
PM.
Yeah, is about when he did it. And he wrote a suicide note. It was all scribbled and just kind of erratic. And
what did the note say?
it was in like a little moleskin notebook.
Uh-huh.
So it was just it was like 8 or 9 pages.
Yeah.
But they were all like scattered. So it didn't say that much, but it just said like, this world doesn't need me anymore. I think he mentioned like, I can't do rehab, but that never came into the equation. We never suggested it. We never told him you need to do this.
I bet he's probably
it was
thinking
something,
about it on his own.
It was in his head.
It was like, I do have to quit, but I can't.
Yeah.
Fuck, do I need to go to rehab? I don't want to go to rehab.
Yeah. And he was scared to be leaving the country. He was nervous. We were talking about it the night before that he was so scared about starting over.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I remember telling him, you can't think about, all of the shit. Just take it piece by piece and just don't overwhelm yourself. When you're planning for changes like that, just the small stuff.
Yeah.
Think about the small stuff and work towards it
Just one thing.
in little parts.
Yeah.
Don't just think, okay, now I have to start my life over.
Yeah. Go to
now
one
what
meeting
the fuck
today.
am I going to do? I have to do this. Just start by small. And he didn't even have to start over. He would have just gone to the islands. They got him a job out there. It would have been a lot easier than he thought.
Yeah, everybody goes on.
He just didn't want to be.
End when you
yeah,
have a bad...
it doesn't. It really fucking doesn't.
You have this feeling like, how can I go on? But it's like it constantly goes on for everybody.
Yeah.
You'll find a job.
Yeah. You'll find something.
Yeah. You'll fall in love with another girl.
Yeah. That's what we told him. And we also think he could have been falling for me. Because he was trying to convince my boy how good he had it with me, but he wouldn't commit to me, and there was an interesting dynamic happening there.
The boy wouldn't commit to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now he has.
Because of that?
Yeah.
In the last week?
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Sure, that's not driven by emotion at all.
Well, there's more to it. There's more to it, but...
Who found him?
Jason.
Walked in?
Came home from work.
Studio? 1 bedroom?
1 bedroom.
So he was in the common room?
And he did it, he did it on the part of the pole that he did it on right in front of the door.
So it's like you walk in and you see him.
Literally, walk in, door swung open. Oh my fucking God, holy shit. That was it. And so he texts me and says, tell her he hung himself. I'm calling the cops. And
wow.
That was how I got the news. We spent the whole night.
You went over there?
Crying. I didn't go. No.
Did he cut him down or did you leave him there?
He had to stay there because the cops came and then it became a crime scene and
they cut him down?
Yeah.
And you read the suicide note or that note?
Well,
the scribbles?
They took the book.
Okay.
But we got a copy of it and I didn't see it till later, but I then saw he mentioned me in it and how much he loved me and how much he cared about me and Jason and thanking us, and he left us some money, but
he just left you the money he had?
Yeah.
He was like, here, why don't you take it?
The family, it came through with the family, and I'm not going to talk about the money.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up thing.
Was it a bunch?
Yeah.
Oh.
But, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. But
I feel like I put in my note.
It was handled wrong.
I got like $50 in my wallet. You can take that.
No, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
And so, and it was, part of it was rent that was due to Jason, but it, yeah. So, so, wow, it's been a week. It's unreal.
Yeah. Hi.
And he, he dressed all in black.
Yeah.
And
he dressed all in black?
All in black.
Wow.
He finished off the rest of the Canadian Club whiskey and went down, bought himself a six-pack. This is the night before he was drinking Sam Adams IPA.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck are you doing drinking the IPA? That shit's too strong. You gotta, now it's starting to get a little cooler, you gotta get the Oktoberfest.
Uh-huh.
And that day he went out and bought himself a six-pack of Oktoberfest. Finished off 5, started the 6th, had a pastrami sandwich, took a bite, and that was it.
Suicide?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And we were really mad at him for leaving us. It was, we had a lot planned for him, and I had a lot planned for him. I saw so much in him. And he was so just right on target with so much of the stuff he said. And every day he was just dropping truth bombs. Just, oh my God, Chris, you're so right. I can't believe I didn't see it like that. You know? He was just, he was too good for this world.
So you...
He was too smart. He was too fast. He knew his shit.
Bill Gates is too smart, but he manages to keep it together. He can be in this world.
Well,
wait, so he's just dead?
Yeah.
Do you stop and think about any things you could have done differently to keep him alive?
Yeah.
Like, what
all the time. I mean, I keep thinking that the one that sticks in my head the most, I couldn't have done it, but if she had fucking told him before he got here, he never would have gotten the coke. He never would have been here to get the coke and go through this situation.
Do you blame yourself for, like, not convincing her harder to tell him?
Yeah.
You don't think I should have just told him anyway? You don't think you should have told him?
I don't know.
You think maybe?
Possibly.
It's tough.
I mean...
It's not your real thing.
Yeah.
You don't know...
And it wasn't my business to meddle in, and it wasn't...
And you don't know it's going to end in suicide, and you don't really have any reason to think that it might.
Yeah.
Because that's a very rare situation.
Yeah.
So it's not like, a lot of times...
And especially for him, especially for someone who was that happy and that stoked on, he was stoked on life. He was a happy guy. He had some dark shit, but he saw a lot of good in a lot of things, in the simple things,
Yeah.
Jason always said he always made food look so good. He'd go next door to the shitty diner next to where he worked and get the Flex burger and just massacre it, but made it look so good. You saw him drinking a beer and you're like, he is enjoying that beer. He is drinking that beer for all it's worth. He is living for that beer right now, living for that burger. He was just living for every moment. He was just, anything he did, he enjoyed it. He played guitar with all his heart, skated with all his heart. They'd go skating and run up to places and he'd be like, all right, let's skate this shit. They'd be like, where? There's nothing here. There's no flat ground. There's nothing to grind. There's nothing to ride. Anyway. Just like, and he did it. And he would just go do it. He'd be like, come on, just go. And he always said, when I die, on my coffin, put some trucks on that shit and skate me.
Skate in his coffin?
Yeah.
I like that.
Skate that shit.
I like that.
Yeah. It's twisted and it's funny, and that's the kind of guy he was,
Yeah.
I love that. And all these stories came out at his service, and his service was on Sunday.
On Sunday. And her friends and people there?
Yeah, a lot
Were his
of people.
parents there?
Just his dad. His dad was in town to handle
the affairs.
Yeah. He got cremated.
What were your feelings when you heard that he died? What were you thinking?
I was completely crushed.
Did you not believe it?
I believed it. I wouldn't question something like that, especially coming from Jason.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to believe it.
Yeah. Did you know Freddie Soto when he was alive?
Huh?
Did you know Freddie Soto when he was alive?
No.
He was a comedian in Los Angeles. He didn't commit suicide. He just died suddenly.
Yeah.
At like 35 or something.
Yeah.
And it was like I don't know, but it's different, but it's still like final. Like he's dead. That's it. There's no changing it. But you sort of want to change it. And you believe that it happened, but you sort of don't fully believe.
Yeah.
Like 80% of you believes it.
Yeah. And then there's a part of you that just keeps going, I wanted to text him. I wanted to send him a message on Facebook. I wanted to call him.
Those desires are still there.
Yeah.
Like, he might be someone you would share these feelings with.
Absolutely.
If someone else had died, you'd be like, I would share this with you.
Yeah.
So I still want to share it with you.
Yeah. I needed him to be there to support me for his death, and he wasn't. And it was like, what the fuck, Chris? How, why? Oh, God.
Are you mad at him?
Yeah, I was. It's
been a week.
It's been a week. I'm not mad at him. Like, oh my God, you fucking... I'm upset that he's gone. But now I know I'm not one to talk about all the afterlife, and I have no idea what happens. I have my ideas, and everybody has their, oh, maybe this and maybe that, and join the infinite, or, become a spirit, or nothing happens.
Yeah.
Whatever. I hope that he is still in that apartment. We feel like...
Haunting you?
Yeah, but not haunting.
You're going to stay in that apartment?
Well, yeah, he's going to stay there.
Sort of
and I've been there. The first night after it happened, we stayed at my apartment. But the next day, we went over and cleaned up his stuff, and his dad picked it up and took it home, and we just kind of tried to make it into what it was before he was there. And we go in and we can still smell him,
Yeah.
He was a dirty guy.
Yeah.
He was really dirty. He didn't care. He'd skate and skate and skate and get so sweaty and stinky and just didn't give a fuck.
Not shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he would skate without shoes or without socks on with his shoes and just, whoa, God, cheese is that, man. That's fucking...
People, especially atheists, they never want to say, there's an afterlife or anything. But in times like this, when somebody dies, like, badly, or when someone you really care about dies in any way, you want to be like, that's the moment where everybody wants to be like, well, he's looking down on us. But it's like, if you're really going to be an atheist, you're like, no, he's not. It's just a shame, and it's just done.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
And there's no second game.
I hope that's not it. I really hope that's not it. But who knows? Who's to say? And I can't say. But, I mean, some of the neighbors say that they can, like, feel someone watching them, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope if he is a spirit that he does stay there, because we felt that he chose to do it at Jason's apartment because that was his sanctuary. That was his last home. That was where he was safe. That was where, he knew he could go.
Did the note say anything about Emily? Like, fuck you?
Well, no, but he writes, the only people that he mentions by name are me and Jason.
Uh-huh.
And then he says, I love you all, Emily included.
Yeah.
So kind of like, I don't want you to think that,
Yeah.
I didn't love you, but...
It's tough writing a suicide note, too, because you don't want to give the person too much power.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, this is all about you, because you probably have so many different things going through your mind.
Yeah.
You're probably like, no, I get it, you had to break up, but fucking I hate myself and I want to die.
Yeah.
But this isn't about you, so it had to be like, I love everybody. Also, Emily, you too, I forgive you.
Yeah. But I don't know if he felt...
How does she feel?
That. She was really upset, of course. I mean, they had a history, and it's always hard to hear that someone you've loved killed themselves. And the unspoken thing is, it's because of the breakup.
Yeah.
It's what led up to it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to really say it, but people kind of know.
That's what it was.
And
I always say when things like that happen, it's not ever a thing. Like, I lost this job, so I want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
It's like you already had your car like repossessed, and you had like this girl break up with you, and those things were bad, and your mom didn't call you back that one day.
Yeah.
Just like a bunch of things.
Yeah.
How did when you said I forgot what I was going to ask you. Damn it. Something about that note. When you said, like, he didn't make it about her.
Yeah.
How did she take it?
She took it as he loved me. That's it. She took it as she wanted to. She didn't want to believe that she could that this could have been caused by her.
That's a good
Nobody
sign
wants to
when
think
somebody
about
does
that. Nobody wants to be responsible for that. And nobody wants to be told they're responsible for that.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to tell them.
She must feel like that a little bit. She doesn't know the eyes are on her.
I'm sure she does. And I know she woke up one day and asked her mom, is this my fault? And
also not
I would say...
You say yeah?
You should have told him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's your fault. I know it was the coke, and I know he was in a fucked up place, and he was not okay that night. He really wasn't. And that whole next day, and maybe if we hadn't have left him, maybe if we, I mean,
And
1,000 maybes.
And
maybe
Al-Anon
if
says you can't stop someone from having a disaster.
Yeah.
You have to stand out of the way of those because you won't stop it. It'll just delay it.
Yeah. And then there's that too. It could have happened a week. It could have happened
That's
today.
not an exact quote.
Yeah.
But something along
I
those lines.
assumed your memory is shit.
Yeah.
But, it could have been delayed till this week or until he was already in the islands.
Or it could have gotten over that period where he was going to do this final thing.
Yeah.
And if you just don't do that final thing that week, then you might never have to do it.
Yeah. And we were just trying to get him through hour by hour, just talking to him and just there for him.
Had he dated anybody else or anything?
He was sleeping with somebody else. Her name eludes me right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but he had been sleeping
and
with another girl.
This note just said, is he giving a reason for it?
This world doesn't need me anymore.
This world doesn't need me anymore.
Yeah.
The problem with writing a note, too, is you're not just writing your feelings. I'm guessing, you'd be cognizant and aware of that people are going to be reading this.
Yeah.
And what you want their feelings to be when they're reading it.
Yeah.
So it's not just
like
an honest
he was trying to
note.
convince us that he wasn't good enough for the world.
Yeah.
It's like bullshit.
Yeah.
I know that's a lie. You know that's a lie.
Yeah.
You wrote that.
Or he's been fake humble and he wanted you to disagree with it.
Suicide wrote that. That's what you want to think. That's his.
Oh, that's coke. That sounds like coke.
That's his selfish reasoning for. Yeah.
Coke makes everything more grand.
Yeah.
Or your problems
this world
are bigger
doesn't need me anymore.
Wins
this
are
world
bigger.
Doesn't need any of us, but we needed you.
Yeah.
And
no, the world doesn't need anybody.
Yeah.
It'll go on fine without anybody.
Exactly. It's not that. That's not what matters. We needed you. We wanted you. We loved you. I wanted to see you do more comedy.
Yeah.
I wanted to see where you would take it.
I had this problem too when I was really considering doing it for like a long time, but it was like, people kept saying it was a selfish act. But
it is.
That didn't make sense to me. I don't think it is. I mean, it's not. It's sort of selfless. Just because I always thought just because it's like you're not taking into account anyone's feelings. You're not saying fuck them. It's like saying this is only about me. I guess that sounds selfish.
It is selfish.
But it's just more important.
He didn't think about. He was only thinking about himself.
That's probably not true. Then he left a note. It's not just thinking about himself.
Well, you have to.
He left a note for other people to read. If you're just thinking about yourself, it's like, let's just do it. If I'm hungry, I'm just going to eat. I don't care who knows. Because it's just about me.
He wasn't thinking about who would see the note. He wasn't thinking about how his mom would feel. How his brothers would feel. They weren't even in the country.
Yeah.
He wasn't thinking about abandoning me and Jason in the worst way possible. Like, we were Three Musketeers these past couple months.
Man.
We were, inseparable. Joined at the hip. And he literally left us. He wasn't, like, as close with his other friends, and he wasn't as close with Emily and her friends. That was all. And he was moving on. Yeah. And he just had me and Jason. And that was it. And he never... It's so cruel to forget about us like that. When he knew how much... Yeah, he did. He knew how much we loved him, and he knew how much we needed him. And he knew that we would be there to support him while he was gone. And that I told him, I can't wait to see you back. I know you'll get back, without a doubt.
Get back on your feet.
Get back to New York.
Oh, right. After he was...
Save some money, figure out a new way.
Yeah.
And come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just... All right. There's better ways to do it where no one would have to find out. Just say I'm moving to some country and then just cut off contact with people and then do it then.
Well...
That way, if you don't find out for 5 or 10 years...
There's Facebook and there's...
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, people are so connected nowadays. You'd always find out. Yeah. And he did it the cleanest way possible.
Hanging.
Yeah.
Wow. Hanging.
Super old school.
One. That's an old school one.
Yeah.
There's something romantic about a hanging.
Yeah.
It's sort of... It's a classic.
Yeah. And, like, one of the neighbors said they heard him, like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they didn't check.
Have you ever seen that video of, I believe it was Iraq, maybe Afghanistan, but there was some dissidents and they were hanging them, 3 people.
No.
And they just like, they had them on a bar and they raised the bar up. It was like on a crane or something.
Ugh.
And you see them just kicking around a little bit.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then eventually it sort of stops.
Ugh.
One of them tried to keep still so it wouldn't like snap his neck or anything, but then the air starts to leave and then he can't help but.
Yeah. I mean, they say his neck was broken. So I don't know if he really was struggling. I hope to God he didn't.
Maybe it eventually breaks your neck. I've heard that before, that it didn't cut off your air, it breaks your neck.
Yeah.
And the weight.
Yeah.
So the heavier you are, the better.
Yeah.
Faster it goes.
Yeah.
Is he a big guy?
No, he was about 5'8" and he was in good shape. He was really muscular, had a lot of,
What?
Muscle.
Yeah.
Not like beefed up, but, tough Mexican dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Skater.
Oh, yeah.
Strong.
Skaters and Mexicans.
Really strong.
They grew up fighting.
Yeah.
Both of them. They have that in common. Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you think you're going to change yourself from this? Have you thought of, like, how this affects you?
It's all I've been able to think about.
Like, what can I do different in the future? Or how can I honor
Not
his
so
memory?
Not so much what I can do different, but just how I admired him so much.
Yeah.
I really admired him, and he knew that. He
You gonna
knew
lose that
how
admiration?
much. No.
Okay.
He was so all about life, and he never let little things get him down. So it's shocking that he let the big thing just completely take over him.
Yeah.
Little stuff didn't matter. He shake it off. It's nothing. Just keep skating. Just keep going. And that was his motto, Just keep doing it. Do what you're doing. You're doing right.
Yeah. And then when we got a big thing, it was like, that was just too much.
And then for him of all people, to give up.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Have you already thought of people that would be more likely to commit suicide or should have before him?
Yeah.
Other people you know and like?
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was you instead of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who else have you thought of?
I don't know.
That's really an
if
evil
this
thought.
ever gets out, I'm not saying who
thought.
I think should
It'll get out.
off themselves, but man.
We had those thoughts before he died. It was like, how come not him? How come not that guy? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That guy's a dick. Why not him?
Yeah. You never know, and you can never tell.
Yeah.
So I just want I want people to know how much they mean to someone. Even if you think you have no one,
Yeah.
there's still someone out there. You can go out and just find someone to talk to. Find someone to help. Something.
I'll tell you what it was, though. Sometimes it's not even about a problem. It's just about this never-ending pain that just doesn't go away. And after, like, you know how you feel blue for a day?
Yeah.
Everyone has those days.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't leave your apartment. It's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it lasts 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And
I've
then-
had those days.
Yeah. And then sometimes you're like, oh, if I just leave my apartment and see the sun, I'll feel better. And you do. You force yourself to do it, and you do feel better. Or
Yeah.
something, whatever. You get over it.
Yeah.
But now imagine it's going on a week and then a month.
But
and
the
this
thing that was
pain just
confusing
doesn't stop.
was he would go out and find happiness in just being in the sunlight and just skating down the block or going and having a beer somewhere.
Yeah.
He would find happiness so easily in such small things that it's like, why did you stop looking?
Yeah.
And we know it was the coke. We know it was just coming off of the coke and just being
Is that a bad
needing
coming
to do,
down off coke? Is that bad? Is that like a bad
you
feeling?
get really
depressed?
agitated, and there is a depression that comes with it, and you're still kind of shaky and jittery, and just kind of like your thoughts are scattered, and
Yeah.
you feel like you want to do something, but you feel like shit. You feel sick, and then especially if it's bad coke. If it's good coke, it's not. It's like 60% clarity, and it was like bad texture, and
Yeah.
I saw it. It was shitty stuff.
Yellowish green.
And he,
Grass.
yeah, I don't know. He just, for some reason that night, he could not see that there would be tomorrow.
Do you think he'd been thinking about it beforehand? Or was that just like, let's just do this right now?
I don't know. He really never let on that he was serious about it. And that
But he
morning,
would joke
like
about
I
it
told
before.
you,
He made references to it before.
only Only one or two.
In how long beforehand?
That day.
That same day?
Tuesday.
Had he
Tuesday night, Wednesday morning.
Had he fallen or gotten hit in the head at all?
No. Got hit in the head with some coke.
Yeah.
But that's it.
I heard new studies about concussions leading to it sometimes. But nothing like that.
Yeah. And like he would... I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, you were just talking about him.
Yeah.
Man. I feel bad. I hope they don't worry that I'm taking up their... I feel bad that I'm taking up their
That's fine.
apartment.
It's fine.
So now how would you do anything different? I mean, you're going to look for it in your friends to like make sure they're helped? Or it's
Well,
you didn't see it coming, so it's like, how can you even do anything different the next time? Like,
yeah.
What are you going to learn from this?
I will never do coke again.
That's it. You're done with coke.
I'm done with coke. And I'm telling people, showing people, not just telling, showing people I love them and I care about them. And I feel like maybe I didn't show him enough. He knew it.
Yeah.
But did he? I gave him free drinks and treated him to a couple things and, cooked for him at the boys' apartment. And
sometimes you really just need someone to tell you, just say, like, hey, man.
Yeah. And we did that. We did a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that morning I hugged him and I grabbed his face and I said, don't do anything stupid. I love you. And I kissed him.
Well, then you did love him.
I did as much as I could that morning.
Yeah.
And I meant it. And then he looks at me and goes, oh, thanks, Jen. Buddha bless you. Like, fuck, God. So
you think when you said goodbye, he was already thinking like, all right, it's the last time I'm going to see you?
I wonder. I really wonder. Because that morning there was a different look in his eyes. I mean, it was the coke. But I wonder if he was thinking about it and just hadn't told us that.
He had to be, right? There's no way there's a way. But you would think it wouldn't just be like, God, this sucks. Oh, maybe kill myself. And then just go do it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, maybe, I'll get a Pepsi. And then drink that.
Get a six-pack and a sandwich.
Yeah. And then kill.
Yeah. He was, like, he had what he wanted. He had his weed. He had money.
Yeah.
He got a six-pack.
Yeah.
He got a great pastrami sandwich.
He was overcoming his Latino heritage.
Yeah. He was doing it.
Doing everything he could. Man.
And in the middle of it, like if I had a six-pack and a great sandwich and had some weed and knew I had good amount of cash.
Do you have trouble sleeping?
Do I have trouble sleeping?
In the last week?
No. Kind of. Been smoking a lot.
A lot of pot?
Yeah.
That'll help. That'll help bury stuff.
But we also are very at peace with the fact that it's what he wanted. Mm-hmm. No matter what. And it is over. And we can't change it. And we just have to accept it. And now I feel like if there is spirits and if he is, out there.
Yeah.
He is with us and he knows everything now. He knows he's in the infinite and he knows that he made a mistake, but now he can be with us. And everyone is taking a part of his simplicity and his love of just everything and trying to carry it on and pass it on, and let people know that they're loved and that they have somewhere to go. That's what everyone is trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
Now since this has happened. Trying to show how much people mean to each other.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. It was like after 9/11.
Yeah.
When everyone was holding doors for each other. And
yeah. And I really hope people don't forget. I really hope his friends don't forget.
They will. You see how people act to each other now.
Yeah.
Do you remember how it was? You were here when they killed Osama bin Laden, right?
No.
You weren't here?
Was I? I was.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. Were you in New York?
I was probably stoned in my room somewhere.
Probably. But like everyone was nice to each other for like it went back to that for like a week.
Yeah. I'd imagine.
But then that goes away.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Man.
But I hope somehow people are able to just... I keep telling people, leave his number in your phone, or leave that picture up, or hang on to that shirt he gave you.
Yeah, maybe his memory will live on. They say that, like you live on memory. You don't really live on, but at least part of you keeps going.
Something.
That's
people admired him so much. People really loved him, and like I said, if you knew him for 5 minutes, you knew Chris. You knew what he was about. You knew how simple he was, and how he could find he could make you reevaluate your entire life while he was drunk.
Yeah.
Just talking shit, and you're just like, whoa, oh my God, you're so right.
You still crying about it?
I feel like I can't anymore. I get really down. And if people, I mean, I can still, like last night at the show, there were some jokes about suicide, and I can still laugh about suicide.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, it's tough.
I made a joke about suicide.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thanks.
I didn't think about it. Compartmentalized so easily.
Yeah, but it's part of life, and I know I can't go on and, blah, 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 about commit suicide.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. And I
met Ahmed had a heckler once because he made some 9/11 joke or some sort of terrorism joke because he looks like a terrorist. Remember Ahmed?
I don't know.
Egyptian comedian, but he looks Arab and he sounds Arab and he has an Arab name. And so somebody got up from the crowd and was like, "That's bullshit. You shouldn't say that stuff. My brother died in 9/11." And he was just an answer. I loved his answer. He was like, "Oh well, yeah. Then this probably isn't funny to you."
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's funny to everybody else.
But it's funny to other people, and it's still a joke. And
yeah,
I believe that if it's said as a joke and meant as a joke, lighten up.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's trying to hurt you.
They didn't come to the show to get paid to do a spot to offend one person.
Like, a lot of people have serious problems with whatever it is you joke about.
Everybody has serious problems with everything.
With everything.
Yeah.
You can talk about anything.
And
but,
how
my
selfish
wife
are you to stand up and say, no, you offended me and now I want attention. I'm going to make you feel bad.
Yeah, or just feel bad because it reminds you of something.
Yeah.
Just leave.
Yeah. You don't have to listen. God. Get out. This is comedy.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry this happened to you.
It's okay. It's okay.
You'll it's still early, but this sounds so demeaning. But I'm older than you, and I've been through some of this stuff.
Say it.
And it gets easier.
Yeah.
I know. You'll forget a little bit. Your heart will heal.
Yeah.
But man, it sucks.
And I know how much, I just keep thinking, I know how much he loved us. I know how much we meant to him. It's upsetting that he left it the way he did.
Yeah.
But it's also, it's nice knowing that things didn't get worse for him. You know? Mm-hmm. That's where he wanted it to end. So I'm not going to say, no, Chris, you were wrong, blah, blah, blah. That's where he wanted it to end, and that's where it's going to end.
Yeah.
And that's it. If he is a spirit and he's hanging out, I hope he's laughing and telling jokes and making fun of me. Mm-hmm. You know? I'm just like, oh, Jen, you're so silly. You think this is about this, but now I see that it's really about this. You know? He's in the infinite. He's in the universe. And it's
such a final decision. It's like having a kid. You can't just like, let me try and see how I like it.
Yeah.
It's like it's a full, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no...
Commit.
Yeah.
You commit to suicide.
Yeah.
That's why I hated like saying like when you commit to someone in a relationship. Yeah. It's like you're committing and that's it. And it's final.
But it's not really that final.
It's not that final and it's not that big of a deal and nothing changes.
Yeah. All my friends that got married that have lived with a girl beforehand, I'm always like, is there anything different? He goes, I just wear a ring. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then they break up and it's like, yeah, it's just like a girlfriend.
And then you just commit to someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
You commit to something else.
That's why I'm in favor of like 1 month marriages. Like short amount of times. Like let's just, no matter what, even if we start hating each other, let's do out the month and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Fucking show people you love them.
Yeah.
And don't do coke.
Yeah.
Make it known.
Make it known you don't do coke. Make it known you love them.
Make it known that you love them.
I don't even think it's so that so that they won't commit suicide or those illnesses.
Yeah.
But it's almost for yourself.
Yeah. Make it known so that people, for them too. So that, and I don't mean just, oh, I love you. You know I love you. It's gotten me really thinking on how to show that you love someone.
Yeah.
Just little things, like I don't know. I've been trying to take care of Jason and show him that I love him and that I am here for him.
Yeah.
And just being supportive and talking and reassuring and helping around the house, doing little favors.
Yeah.
Picking him up little stuff I think he would like.
Little nice things are a good way to show that.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a huge gesture.
Peel an orange and put it in a plate in front of him.
Yeah.
And like, oh, thanks.
Oh, thanks, baby.
Yeah, with nothing. I was just like, I think you'd enjoy this. I wanted you to have it.
Yeah. I got some chocolate on the way home. You want a piece? Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Just things like that.
You want to tell people your Twitter address so they can follow you?
My Twitter address.
Or you're not one of people?
I haven't. Oh, I'm terrible with Twitter now.
Why?
I'm not done.
You used to do it all the time.
I know. But New York really
New York
doesn't let you.
I mean, unless you do it all the time. You're out all the time and seeing crazy things. My mind is going crazy.
Yeah, but I feel like my mind has been going so crazy that I don't have time to tell everyone about every little thing I see. It's amazing how busy I find myself in this city, and I'm just like, oh, another day. And if you check my Twitter, I haven't been on it in like a month.
Wow.
I never used to let that shit happen.
Yeah.
And I keep going on there and saying, oh, I'm back. I'm going to be back, and I'm going to update you guys. But I never do. And people want to know, how's New York? And what's going on in New York?
You have to give them one big update and just be like,
but I only have 140 characters.
Love it. Love Bed-Stuy or wherever you live. Friend committed suicide. Tried Johnson's Pizza. Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, glance over.
It's like, I don't know. I hope I get back into it. I did love it. And maybe I'm over it. I loved it before its time.
Yeah.
And now that it's like, everybody's on it and just like, oh my God, bought cat food.
I bet you get people from this telling you they're sorry you went through it, and like 4% of people either hitting on you or saying something horrible to you.
Yeah.
Which is always horrible, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I do still check it.
Yeah.
For the comedy and because some people, God, they get it so.
And so you're helping run the show with DeRosa. That's something you're doing.
Yeah.
Righteous Kill.
Yeah.
Right now it's at the People's Improv Theater.
I was going to try and get Brian to get Chris on the show one time.
Chris who? Oh, on that show?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My Chris. The Chris we just spent an hour talking about.
Yeah, sure. I could see that would have happened.
Yeah. And it's a small enough show that it could have
less chances
possibly.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as funny.
No. God, just swinging there. That must have been horrible to find.
I know.
Just like lightly.
That is my worst. I don't want to imagine what he saw.
Was he all blue? Had he shit himself?
Probably. I mean.
You never show that in movies.
The muscles, I know. You never show that about death.
No.
Or rarely. But that is what happens when we die a couple hours later. Everyone just shits your pants.
I think that's why Jenny did it in a bathtub. So it wouldn't be easier to clean up. It would be easier to clean up.
Ugh.
That's why I think, for things like that, that's why I think it's not a selfish act. Because you're like, I want to put people out as little as possible. I'm so sorry you have to deal with this. But it's way worse for me, and I got to do this.
Yeah.
It's like when your parents move, and all the little kids, like, why? You're so selfish. We love it here. And your dad's like, because I got a way better job somewhere else. And whatever the reason, we're moving.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it's weird. It's weird to say that it's a lot less to clean up because there is still a fucking body to clean up. A whole dead body.
God.
I mean, Jason said he like felt him and like touched him. Like, you know, you want to. How do you react in that situation when you walk into your apartment and find your best friend dead? And he said it was the most surreal thing he's ever experienced, of just like, okay, well, I have to go around and get my phone. I have to go, like, I don't even know what I would do. Yeah. I would scream and run out of the apartment. He, like, stood there and tried to absorb what was happening. And it's the only way to make it real. Yeah. You know? Kind of touch him and said he was cold and stiff already. And
when I saw Freddie's body at the wake, that was the first time I got it. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a dead body.
Yeah.
Okay. He's dead. I see it.
We didn't even get to see a body.
You didn't?
Yeah. And, you know, they said his neck was stretched.
Like those African ladies with the plates?
Yeah. But a little crooked.
But less. That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm so happy I can make jokes about it.
That's nice. I was afraid you'd cry the whole time.
I did not want to cry. Yeah. I spent
got close a couple
5,
times.
6 days
I
straight
saw your eyes water up.
Yeah.
You held it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Choke it down. Choke it down.
Suck it down.
Be an American. Don't show feelings.
If Chris is with me, he's like, come on, fucking really? You're going to cry again? Really?
What's
Bitch?
that going to do for you? All right. Old episodes. You can subscribe to this. The Skeptic Tank. They're different between things like this and Holocaust survivors and porn stars and people who fuck hookers all the time. It's a very eclectic mix of interviews.
I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah. You can find them on iTunes or hopefully Stitcher or on my website, arithegreat.com. And old episodes should be available there too, or on DeathSquadTV.tv. And then, I don't know, that's it. You want to say anything to the people? You did. Love each other.
I'm Benny Sonics on Twitter. See if I show up.
Benny Sonics. Yeah. She might be there sometime for the next 2 years.
Or look for me on the next future networking site.
Oh, yeah, whatever the next thing is.
Whatever
is there a next
it is.
thing? I feel like you would know what it is.
I don't know what it is yet.
It's not LinkedIn.
No.
That thing looks annoying. And
Hey, you know what?
What?
I might try and make it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's my new prodigy. Bring back LinkedIn. I still get emails every once in a while. Hey, they still want to be your friend.
Maybe you can have it named after Chris and have it in his honor.
LinkedIn
Or have like
Chris.
some weird hangman game. Nah, maybe that's too far.
Hangman is never going to be the same.
I was trying to pitch this idea. I know this girl who's like 80 pounds, and we're trying to make this Holocaust video, but that we want it to not sound too like anti-Holocaust because I just went to the memorial and I just fucking feel too much now.
Not too anti-Holocaust. It's okay to be anti-Holocaust.
Oh, right, exactly.
It's pretty...
Not too crass. But I was like, how about a hangman game where the Germans are just playing hangman with you and trying to like add guessing letters. And every time they guess a Z, you'd be like, really? Z? Ugh, as you had to like get closer to being hung.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Words with Friends just came out with that hanging with friends.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a hangman app.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
morbid. That was a
twisted.
weird, morbid game. Hangman.
Yeah.
You add a limb to them, and eventually their limbs will be heavy enough to weigh them down and hang them.
Yeah. Fucked
You got
up.
an arm, then a body, then another arm, then a leg, then another leg, and that you're dead.
What a terrible childhood game now that I've
Yeah.
seen. Oh.
How about just you get 6 wrong guesses, or whatever it is, the amount of limbs. Like, how about that? And then you lose.
What if you just guess letters? What if nothing
Yeah.
happens? Because nothing happens at the end of the game.
Yeah.
You just lose.
Yeah.
You don't kill.
Why hang? Yeah, just
stick
have it like
figure.
add little pellets into the gas mixture until you've got enough, and then you can kill a family. When you guess the wrong amount of letters.
Now analyzing this game, you just are.
Sounds horrible.
You're just doing it to kill it.
Yeah.
Kill him.
Just
there
doing
is
it.
no way to end Hangman other than him hanging.
Yeah. Although, yeah, you got the word. Like, okay, can you cut me down? Like, no, we're gonna play again.
Nope, play again. Kill him.
Stay up there.
Take
All
off
right,
all
thanks,
your
Jen.
arms and legs. Start
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ari.
Bye, everybody.